Hello from slidenerd and hello from Weaves. What's up folks? In this video, I'm gonna talk about how to make a list view with images using a different adapter called the BaseAdapter. Now if you guys notice, this will be the outcome of our complete video that you guys see over here. This video and the next few videos will be dedicated on how to make this list which you see over here. So let's get started. Alright, so how do we make this list view? Very simple. Step 1. Prepare the data sources. Where do you store this image? Where will you store this title? And where will you store this description for all these rows that you guys see over here? Step 2. Define the appearance of a single row. Now remember, our single row structure, which is this one row over here, has to be defined, which includes this image view, this text view, and this other text view that contains the description, right? So that has to be defined in a separate XML file. Step 3. Create an adapter that is gonna pick data from your XML file and put it inside this structure over here, which is nothing but your base adapter. Step 4. Decide what happens when the user clicks on a single row. Now I won't be talking about how to handle this event as of now. In my previous videos I have shown how to handle a list view on click event using different ways. If you guys are not sure about that, I'm not doing this here because this code is already too complicated and I don't want to add stuff to it. Alright, so step 1, prepare the data sources. We need to find a way to store the image and those titles and descriptions that we need. So the data sources include images, titles, and descriptions. Now descriptions can be stored inside the strings.xml file inside the string array tag over here. Same way, you can place images inside the drawable folder inside your res folder. Alright, and then you can have your titles inside the strings.xml in the same way in the string array tag. Now just to give you guys a rough appearance of how this string array would look like, take a look. Here you have your string array, name equals to titles, and then you simply add items, which is nothing but the elements of the array. Now the reason why you give a name over here is because you want to access this string array inside Java code. So at that time you're gonna use this name to get all these elements from Mimi1 to Mimi10 inside Java code. Step 2. Define the appearance of a single row. So this is our single row. If you guys notice, can you break this down further? Yes, it's very simple. It's an image view over here, then there's a text view over here, and there's another text view below this one. Alright, the upper one contains the title, the lower one contains the description. So we are gonna go ahead, make this structure containing this image view, these two text views inside a separate XML file called singlerow.xml. So how does the list view work with the base adapter? This is a question you have, right? Let's take a data source which contains some names like this. This is Jacob, Mason, Ethan, blah blah blah. Alright, so what you have to do is you have to make a class that extends the base adapter class, and then inside that class of yours you need to have this method which says getView. Now what do? Very simple. You pick this data item from here, for example say Jacob. You create a view object out of that and you return this view object to the list view. Alright, now the list view is gonna take all the view objects for each element inside your data source and then create your complete list view, which is your final thing which you see on the screen. Alright, now this is how the base adapter works. So what does the base adapter do? Very simple. It performs the mapping between the element in the data source and the views inside your list view. So how to create a custom adapter using your base adapter? These are the following steps. Create a class that extends base adapter. Step 2. Implement all the methods that you need to override. Step 3. Go ahead, use the getView method to define how you will pick the data from the data source and put it inside some view object whose structure is defined by that single row which we guys have been talking about so far. So let's see how these things are done in detail. So step 1, create your class that extends BaseAdapter. Step 2, override the methods that the BaseAdapter provides. Now you guys look at these methods and you're like, hey dude, what the hell is this? Very simple. Your BaseAdapter expects you to have an array over here. For example, I have shown this array with the help of this D1, D through D3, D4. So inside the getCount method, you're expected to return the number of elements inside this array. Inside your getItem method, you provide the position number. For example, if I say 0, then D1 should be returned. If I say 1, D2 should be returned, and so on. So the getItem method returns the object at position argument 0. And then there's this long getItemID method, which again takes a position. You're expected to return the ID of the row, or in other words, plain simple English, the way by which you identify your rows. Now if you guys remember, here we simply identify the elements over here by saying 0 for the first element, 1 for the second element, 2 for the third element, and so on, right? In other words, we simply use our array indices to identify which item is present at which position, and hence we will return that array index itself. And then there is our getView method, which is gonna exactly pick data from this array, put it inside a view object which you see over here, and that is returned to your list view. Alright, so the list view will call your BaseAdapter's getView method, and there all the transformation takes place, getting the data, putting it inside a view object, and giving that object back to the list view. So just to give you guys a visual overview of how this works, very simple. Here is the blank list view. The first row needs to be shown to the user. The list view is gonna call your getView method from the adapter, giving it the position 0 and these two other parameters which I have discussed in my previous videos. And then the first row is shown to the user. Same for the second row, same for the third row. So before each row being displayed, the getView method is called by your list view on your adapter. So how do you override the getView method? What do you do? If you guys remember, this is our single row.xml, which contains the appearance of how a single row will look inside our list view. So if you remember, there's an image view, there was a text view 1, there was a text view 2, and there is this relative layout inside which all these views are placed. Alright, so if we have our getView method, the first step we need to do is convert this XML based description into a Java object. For that, I use this layout inflator. I've discussed about layout inflation in my other videos. If you guys haven't seen them, please go ahead and check them out. So I say inflator.inflate blah blah blah, and this view row object contains a reference to this relative layout after the inflation has been performed. Inflation is nothing but the process of converting your XML based appearance into a Java object that I can use in my code. Alright, so at this point, row contains my relative layout. Now using this relative layout reference, I'm gonna find this image view, text view 1, text view 2. For that, I can say find all the views inside your single row using find view by ID method, and that is gonna have something like this: the image view, text view 1, text view 2. Next, I need to set values for each of these depending on the row. Remember, the values differ for each row inside your list view. So here is where you do that. Once you set the values, your row looks like this. This is especially for the first row. For the second row, you will have Mimi2 over here, description 2 over here, and a different image over here, and so on and so forth, because getView is called for every single row, right? And ultimately, this row object contains this entire row that you see over here, and you simply return it back here by from your getView method. This is how you're expected to use the getView method. So I hope you guys have understood something out of this video. If you like what you saw, please subscribe to my channel, comment, let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear from you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next vid. Have a nice day.